I want to welcome all of you who are at home today to our class discussion. I'm going to try and cover the class in about 10 minutes, so watch this and then make sure you go through each of the slides and complete the activities that I have assigned both on your syllabus and on this video presentation. So today in class we're working on three things. The first one is to understand what academic integrity means and how it fits higher education, college courses. The second thing, we'll be looking at a couple of samples of observation essays. There are 4 in your packets, and I gave 2 additional ones to the students in class today, so you should have 6 to look over. And then finally, we will give you all some lab time to work on several assignments. As far as academic notes, this slide includes a quote by a student, and sadly the quote reflects a lot of attitudes out there about students and communities as far as academic integrity goes. So pause the video for just a second and read this quote by a young lady. Her attitude reflects a lot of people's attitudes and why they get into trouble later on in life. So this is where little things become big things, like the quote on the original, on slide 3, that Albert Einstein said. These are news stories that have taken place in the last 5 years, major news stories, and they all relate to cheating that goes on at universities. Sadly, the first 3 are parents cheating for their kids, and the next one is the athletic department at University of North Carolina cheating for their athletes. The final one is a former senator from Montana who had to resign because his opponent found out he had plagiarized part of his thesis for his master's degree. These 2 slides discuss academic integrity, the definition of it. It's at the top. I want you to copy that down in your academic notes. I would also like you to understand how academic integrity relates to being ethical, honest, and responsible. So go through those 3 slides. On this slide, there is a link that will take you to a quiz. The quiz was put together by Turnitin.com. And it will assess your understanding of what constitutes plagiarism or not. So take the quiz. I think there are 20 or 25 questions, and at the end it will give you a result. We're not recording the result, but again, it will go over some questions you probably will have throughout the semester, and of course during your college experience, what constitutes plagiarism or not. The next 2 slides, on slides 9 and 10, goes through blatant plagiarism, which is usually punishable by receiving an F in the class and oftentimes being expelled from the university. Make sure they all have fun titles, but what they're doing is not appropriate in any setting at college. These are more of non-blatant plagiarism problems that usually won't get a person kicked out of school, but you will lose points on assignments for not catching some mistakes that you should catch. In your academic notes, I'd also like you to record these 3 bullets in your assignment on where academic integrity should start and what are the consequences when it is not stressed or someone in class does not take it seriously. The last thing I'd like you to do in your academics notes time today is click on the link on this page. It will take you to an article that hopefully will cover a lot of the things we've talked about in the first 5 minutes of this video presentation. Finally, Turnitin.com is a massive database that houses all millions and millions of documents, including students who have written papers in the past. If you've ever submitted something into Turnitin, it remains in their database, and it can let me know immediately if a student plagiarized a sentence, a paragraph, an entire essay, and it will take me to the place where the original document is stored. So unfortunately, it leads to awkward conversations, but the students have never challenged me on it because the proof is in through Turnitin by a click of a button. So that's all for your academic notes today. The next part of class, we are discussing some sample student observation essays. I copied some of their works. They gave me permission to use their essays. These are students in my classes for the last 2 years. While they're not typed in MLA format to save space in your resources, they are well-written essays. So pick 2 of them. One of them I would like you to read, We're All Fish in a Tank. The reason I'd like you to read that, it gives you a good understanding of how you can make an observation paper more than just describing something. The young lady who wrote this essay 2 years ago, she has a big purpose for the essay. She describes the fish aquarium in Sandy, and yet her paper is much more than just describing the fish at that aquarium. And then pick another one to read. If you were not in class today, you do not have numbers 5 and 6. You can get those from me next time. But please go over a couple of students' answer or sample essays so you get a feel for what is expected of you. Remember, your essay will need to be 3 to 4 type pages long in MLA format, which is double space. So all of these were that long before I condensed them down. Then in class today, we are doing, I'm giving all the students some time to work on some assignments. The first bullet, remember last time I had you look at some professional models of observation essays in your booklet. You are to pick 3 of them and read them to get an understanding of what is contained in an observation essay, who is the speaker of the essay, what tense you write it in, how to weave details into something more. So pick 3, and then as you read each one, make sure that you are recording your details on the observational chart handout. It is included in your resource packets, the last page in your resource packet, because that assignment, the chart will be turned in next time for credit. Students will also begin working on the draft of their observation essay. I sent you out between last week and today to find a place to observe, take notes, snap a picture or 2. So today's students will be beginning that process. You'll see on this slide also the actual dates of the first really good draft, and then finally the final draft that will be put in to Turnitin. I want to remind you, your 4 major papers, this being the first one, will be 70% of your grade in this class, so you need to do a really good job. The other thing, during lab times today, you can type up or finish typing your summary paragraphs. Remember last time in academic notes, we learned how to write a summary paragraph and used the article 30 Little Turtles in your resource packet as a resource of something to write about. Make sure that you refer to your notes on how to write summary paragraphs that was included in the packet that we marked up last time, with details on what you put in those packets. So those are what the things that you are working on in class today and between now and Thursday when I see you again. Just 2 other slides here I want to go over quickly before I stop. This slide is if in your observation essay you use any kind of a resource as part of your, remember this is not a research paper, but let's say you pick up a pamphlet at the place you go to and there's some detail that you'd like to weave into your observation essay. If you do so, remember it's under academic integrity. You need to give credit where credit is due. So you will need to put an MLA citation at the end And these two links will teach you how to use any type of source and what the MLA citation looks like for those sources, since we have not talked about how to do all the sources just yet in the class. And finally, make sure when you finish your rough draft, and again, you'll be given time next time to work on that, you will include a picture like this one, whatever the place was that you chose to write about. So that is all of what we did in class today. Next time, make sure you're ready for typing your MLA, that your summary has been typed. We are actually going to go to the Career Center for a few minutes and print off your writing prompts 1 through 5 that are now in MLA format. Please refer to that document in your resources in Canvas so that they are typed correctly. I will grade them that way. We are going to talk about how to revise your work, and so you need some hard copies. So get those ready to print the very beginning of class in the Career Center so that we can have a discussion next time on how to revise our work and what to look for when we revise our work. So that's all I have. Have a good day, everyone. See ya.